Hi, good evening. Welcome to today's session again. We were gonna talk about the story of the pen in order to avoid the misperception. Shall we begin? So first of all, tell me what it is. This is a pen, right? So what will happen if I give it to a dog? It can chew it, right? Because it thinks this is a chew toy. So this is a pen for a man to write and a chew toy for the dog to chew. So who is right? The answers both are right. Why? Because they are all different entities, and different entities can have different point of views, and this is very normal. So the first lesson of the story of the pen is that we have to respect the point of view of others. Okay? So we're gonna move to the next lessons. Imagine this time I put this thing in an empty room where there's no man, no dog at all. So what we call this at that time? This is called nothing, right? Why? Because the entity before the man and the dog are not nearby. So the ancient intelligence say that this is the emptiness. The emptiness doesn't mean that this thing will disappear, but it's want to say that it has a limited potentiality in the way that it can receive countless point of view from the observers. We're gonna see it through following proof. So this thing in an empty room, right? So what will happen if tomorrow I invite the man to come back, and to him this is a pen to write, right? And instead of inviting him, if I invite the dog to come back, and to the dog this is a chew toy and it's gonna choose it again, right? And if I invite both of them to come back to the room at the same time, there will be two above point of view exist at the same time, right? Okay. So imagine this time I do in a larger scale, invite 1,000 different people to come in the room, and there will be 1,000 different point of views. All of this want to say that everything including this has the emptiness, meaning that it have limited potentiality in the way that it can receive countless point of view from the observer. So we're gonna move to the third lesson. But before that, I have two questions. The first one, we say that this thing can receive countless point of view from the observers. So before this, those countless point of views, which is holding those countless point of views, and I was answered by the following illustration. In my hand, I holding a thing, this thing, and I call this a pen. And the fact that it's the pen, it's come from my mind or it come from itself. The fact that it's the pen is come from my mind. Why? Because if it come from itself, the dog will see it as a pen and use for writing instead of chewing, right? So I agree that this is come from my mind, or it's come from the mind of the observer, who is me in this case, and my mind is large enough, limited enough to hold countless point of view. And the next question is, can you tell me where exactly in my mind that those countless point of view situated, right? So I doubt that it can come from the part of my want, what I want, right? So I can close my eyes and I say that we change my point of view from the pen to a diamond. This is what I want. I count 1, 2, 3, and I open my eyes, and this is still a pen, right? Because I still can write with this. So what's happening? So I wonder if I'm doing something wrong, but the answer intelligence say that I do all good so far. The only thing that I cannot change my point of view, because I am in lack of one important thing, which is the seed in my mind. This is what I do, say, and think, which gonna create an imprint in my mind, serving as a seed in my mind, growing at some point at a time and cover an image on this thing. And if that image is a diamond, then I will call this a diamond. Okay, right now I cannot. Okay, so the third lessons want to say that everything that comes from our mind, or more concretely, it comes from what we do, say, and think, not come from what we want. Okay, so the final lessons, the fourth one, in this life, if we want to have something, we have to start seeding. So the story of the pen is finished with 4 lessons. The first one, we have to respect the point of view of others. The second one, everything has its emptiness in the way that it has illimited potentiality. And the third lesson is that everything's come from our mind, or more concretely, come from what we do, say, and think. And the fourth lesson is that in this life, we want to have something, we have to start seeding, not just one thing that we have. So the story of the pen is very simple, but in fact very deep. And in order to understand it deeper and deeper, day by day, we have to repeat it until it reaches 3,000 times. So please accept my gratitude. Seeing you tomorrow, repeating this story again, for all of us can understand more about this story. Thank you, and see you until I see you. Bye bye.